time. But it's important to understand that for turn taking, reduced latency is not the only thing. So if the user makes a pause like this, could you play, and the system tries to answer as quickly as possible, you will get run into these kind of situations. Another issue is, of course, if you allow the user to interrupt the robot, it's quite hard to know when are they trying to interrupt, or when are they perhaps just doing some kind of collaborative speech like a back channel or something. So in this case, if the system says, so I have this trip that goes from Stockholm on Sunday, it will be 1,000 crowns, so the user might say, and then respond. In another scenario, maybe the user wants to immediately ask a question, like what does it cost? And then the system should be able to tell the difference here. And that's actually quite challenging. So what we really need is a turn-taking model that allows the system to respond fast. Of course, latency is important, but also know when to not respond. And it should allow for interruptions, but not be interrupted by collaborative speech like back channels, and be able to give back channels to the user at the right places. And of course, as humans, we use a lot of different signals to coordinate this. We have signals in the voice, we are using intonation, intensity, we talked about gaze, facial expressions, and so on. And all this has to be taken into account by the model. And one turn-taking model that we have been investigating called voice activity projection. And the idea is simply to train a model on a lot of human conversations to predict the next 2 seconds of that conversation. So let's take an example here just for illustrative purposes from the movie Her, where we have this person talking to his assistant.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm well.
Now at this point, we might wonder, what does the next 2 seconds look like? Who will be the dominant speaker? Below that, you can see the prediction of from the model, and it predicts that yellow will be the dominant speaker with some probability. So we can see what happens.
How's everything with you?
And it's true, yellow was the dominant speaker. The blue didn't take the turn here, so the prediction was correct. That's fine. So what about the next 2 seconds? The model seems to predict that blue will dominate here now, that the turn will shift to blue.
Pretty good, actually.
The prediction was correct here again. Now in the next 2 seconds, the model seems to predict that yellow will dominate.
It's really nice to meet you.
Which in this case was not correct, actually. So this way, of course, we train the model, and we learn the model how to do these predictions. And if we do this well, of course, this model is extremely useful for the system, because it means that the robot can know when is the user likely to speak, when is it appropriate to speak, etc. So let's now look at the demonstration where we put this model into the robot. So let's do a demonstration where we are having a customer coming back to the store, and I'm practicing how to handle customers by talking to a sort of virtual customer here.
I need to speak to a manager immediately.
Oh, what happened?
The sole of these shoes came off after just 2 months of use.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Can you tell me a bit more why it happened?
I don't know why they would fall apart so quickly.
No.
I didn't even wear them that often.
No, sure. So do you have your receipt with you?
No, I don't have the receipt on me, but I'm pretty sure I bought them here and I have the credit card statement to prove it.
Okay, I'm sorry, but it's actually company policy that you need to bring your receipt with you. Could you come back later, perhaps?
Fine, I'll come back with the receipt, but I want my money back, not a new pair of shoes.
Okay, we'll see what we can do about that. And have a great day.
I'll be back later, and I expect a full refund.
Okay, I hope this video showed how the model can be used to better understand for the robot when the user is trying to interrupt, or when the user is giving some supportive feedback, etc., and be able to have pretty fast response time while not interrupting the robot at the same time. So with that, I conclude this presentation, and thank you very much for listening.